Kamala Harris, promises that she is going to be transparent with voters about her health after two people associated with her campaign tested positive for COVID-19. In a series of tweets, the senator also revealed she's had two negative COVID-19 tests this week and is not showing any symptoms. Still, the Biden campaign says it is canceling upcoming travel plans for Senator Harris through the weekend, including today's trip to North Carolina. The campaign also says Senator Harris will not need to quarantine since she was not in close contact with either individual in the days prior to their positive tests. And we note that we did not see Senator Harris taking part in these Judiciary Committee hearings, even though she is on that committee. So let's bring in CBS News campaign reporter Tim Perry to update us on a story that we reported earlier. So Tim, what more can you tell us about this?
So what we know so far is that there are two members of who are associated with the campaign. One is a non-staff flight crew member who has been part of the flights with Senator Harris. But the other one is her communications director. It's Liz Allen, who is a constant with Senator Harris. She was with her all last week during debate training or debate prep. She travels with Harris on every single trip that Harris goes on, including Harris's last campaign trip in Arizona, which was just a day after her vice presidential debate, which also she was campaigning with Vice President Joe Biden. So raising a lot of eyebrows there, but Liz Allen is one of her closest advisors. She's, with her pretty often, and according to the campaign, she has not been with her since October 8th, which was when they campaigned, which is when Harris campaigned with Joe Biden last week, and she's been pretty busy with the Senate hearing confirmations. So she's had some time away from Liz Allen.
Do we have any idea what the timeline is in regards to the staffers getting tested? Did they start to get symptoms and then thought, let's get tested? Or was it sort of the other way around, which is part of regular testing routine and this came up?
So part of the campaign's routine is when members of the staff, before any type of travel, they're tested, and also if they have any non-campaign related, personal activities, they're tested. And that was the case for these two individuals. They both had time off after the last campaign event last week, and because of that time off, they were both tested, and that's when the positive test came through.
So we know, based on the statements that we've received from the campaign, Tim, that Senator Harris is going to stay off the sort of in-person campaign trail into Monday. But are you aware of what kind of sort of upcoming virtual campaign events she's slated to take part in?
As of right now, this is all still in motion. We do not know of any virtual campaigning. Just last night on MSNBC, she had spoken about how she was excited to get back on the trail and how she had a very packed schedule. She was supposed to do North Carolina today, as you mentioned in the introduction, Ohio tomorrow, Pennsylvania, Texas, all big states for the campaign, and they've all been canceled. And I would have to imagine that they have to do something virtual to keep her, out there. She's been away, as I said earlier, for the Senate hearings, and it makes sense for her to get back out on the trail now with just, about 2 or 3 weeks until the election. But as of right now, no plans for virtual campaigning at the moment.
Tim, before... sorry, go ahead, Anne-Marie.
I was just going to ask, and maybe you already mentioned this, but in-person campaigning will resume when, did she say?
Monday. So she had been planned. She had a very packed schedule. It's canceled through Sunday. Her husband, Doug Emhoff, who was supposed to travel to Iowa, he's also canceled traveling for today. He will resume on the campaign trail tomorrow.
Tim, before we let you go, hot off the presses, or I don't know if we say hot off the presses when the article was published on CBSNews.com. I'm old, people know that.
Same as we don't say dial the phone.
I'm going to dial my mom after the show today. But I just note that there's an article that went up on CBSNews.com. Joe Biden shattering fundraising numbers for September. Vice President Biden took in a record $383 million last month, which is like more than the GDP of some small countries. What are you hearing from the campaign about that and where they intend to spend it?
So, Ed O'Keefe actually asked the campaign this earlier today. They weren't extremely clear about what they're planning on doing just yet, but I can only imagine that we should see a lot more ads coming up in some of these very crucial battleground states that are super important for a Biden win in November.
All right. Tim Perry for us reporting on the news from the Biden camp. Tim, as always, we thank you, my friend. Appreciate it.